Reaching $20,000 feels like freedom, but this is exactly where most people start slipping backward. You relax too soon, others keep climbing, and you quietly fall behind. You think $20,000 is stability, but it's where your blind spots start costing real money. Today you'll learn how to survive this level and build long-term stability. Because here's the part no one explains. $20,000 doesn't make you rich. It makes your decisions heavier. At $10,000, you escaped urgency. But at $20,000, your habits, your systems, and your identity get exposed. Small mistakes become expensive, small delays become setbacks, and the confidence you feel at this level often hides risks that slowly push people backward. This is why so many stall here. Not because they lack discipline, but because $20,000 changes the psychology of daily life. You spend differently, you choose differently, you tolerate different things, and those shifts compound faster than your money does. In this video, you'll see what actually changes at $20,000, why most people fail to recognize it, and the 3 moves that turn this level into the real foundation of long-term financial security and personal growth. If the first $10,000 changed your survival, the next $10,000 will change your direction. And once you understand why $20,000 exposes more than it protects, the next question becomes obvious. What actually changes in your daily life when you reach this level? Because the truth is that money doesn't change you. It reveals everything you've been building underneath. So let's break down the 5 shifts that only appear once you hit this stage. The same 5 ideas you learned at $10,000, but now evolved into their real, high-stakes versions at $20,000. 1. From urgency to options to architecture. At $10,000, you escaped urgency. At $20,000, you start building structure. This is where your days stop being reactive and start becoming intentional. Suddenly, you're no longer forced to choose the cheapest option every time. You can buy the food you prefer, choose transportation based on convenience instead of fear, and make decisions without calculating every cent. But here's the shift most people miss. Your options only matter if you turn them into architecture. Without structure, options become noise. With structure, they become leverage. If your $20,000 isn't making your life simpler, it's already pulling you backward. 2. From spending to system to automation. At $10,000, you learn to organize your money. At $20,000, systems stop being a choice. They become the backbone of your lifestyle. Your bills get automated, your investments get automated, your saving gets automated. Not because you're disciplined, but because you're human. Automation protects you from emotional spending, inconsistency, and decision fatigue. People who fail at this stage don't fail because they're irresponsible. They fail because they try to manage $20,000 with a $10,000 mindset. If your money depends on your discipline, you're still broke. You just don't feel it yet. 3. From fear to filter to stability. At $10,000, you learned how to filter opportunities. At $20,000, you learn how to filter your reactions. This is where your emotional habits become visible. Do you negotiate? Do you stand your ground? Do you tolerate disrespect at work? Do you panic when money moves? Do you freeze when opportunities appear? Your emotional filters determine how stable you actually are. This is why some people stay stuck for years. They treat $20,000 as a cushion, when in reality, it is a magnifying glass. Your financial life doesn't collapse from lack of money. It collapses from lack of emotional stability. 4. From consumption to creation to scale. At $10,000, you started creating. At $20,000, creation becomes strategic. This is the stage where people stop consuming content for distraction and start building skills, systems, and projects for expansion. It's where your side hustle isn't a fantasy anymore. It's a testing ground. You begin outsourcing small tasks, buying tools that save you time, and treating your skills as assets instead of hobbies. The moment you stop creating, your $20,000 starts disappearing. 5. From self-doubt to identity to standards. The last shift is the most important. At $10,000, you changed your mindset. At $20,000, you change your standards. You stop tolerating chaos. You clean your environment. You improve your health. You design your week with intention. You talk differently, walk differently, choose differently. Your identity becomes less about motivation and more about expectation. At this stage, the question is no longer, can I grow? It becomes, why would I live any other way? Your habits reveal who you're becoming faster than your money does. Now that you understand how these 5 shifts evolve at $20,000, the next step is learning how to use them. Because reaching this level doesn't give you freedom. It gives you leverage if you know how to handle it. And this is where most people fail. So let's break down the 3 moves that turn your $20,000 into the foundation of a stable, long-term financial life. Now that the 5 shifts of the $20,000 stage are clear, it's time for the part that actually determines whether this level becomes a foundation. Because $20,000 doesn't move you forward by itself. It only gives you the capacity to move forward. What separates people who rise from people who stay stuck are these next 3 moves. They are simple, but they are not easy, and when used correctly, they turn 20,000 from a temporary milestone into the beginning of long-term stability and identity. 1. Divide to multiply. Life architecture for real freedom. At this level, divide to multiply means separating the parts of your life that were previously tangled together. Your money, your time, your decisions, and your emotions. People who stay stuck at this stage are not financially broken, they're structurally unorganized. Freedom comes from architecture. A. Divide your money into 5 roles. Not to complicate your life, but to protect it. Survival. Pay bills safely. Example, your electricity, groceries, transportation, and rent come from here, so you never panic when income fluctuates. Growth. Upgrade your future. Example, a certification, a work tool, or a software license that expands your earning power. Emotional safety account. Protect your mind. Example, taking a taxi or buying ready-made food on an exhausting day so stress doesn't push you into bad decisions. Automatic investing. Build long-term wealth. Example, a monthly transfer into an index fund or ETF that grows whether you're motivated or not. Controlled indulgence. Enjoy without guilt. Example, a dinner out, a small gift, or a hobby purchase that doesn't sabotage your progress. This is not budgeting. This is psychological separation, the foundation of stable growth. B. Divide your time into impact zones. At 10,000, time was survival. At 20,000, time becomes strategy. Your week needs structure, 20% skill development, 20% career growth, 20% primary work, 20% side projects, 20% rest and recovery. When money enters faster than structure, chaos increases, not freedom. Dividing your time prevents that chaos. C. Divide your relationships intelligently. At 20,000, energy becomes a resource. Separate people into those who expand you, those who are neutral, those who drain you. You don't cut anyone out. You simply stop giving equal access to unequal contributions. D. Divide your goals into horizons. Your goals shouldn't fight each other. They should be layered. 1 year, stabilization. 3-year expansion, 5-year transformation. This way you stop mixing long-term ambitions with short-term pressure. That is the real safety of 20,000. Not the money itself, but the architecture around it. 2. Convert skill into cash flow, and cash flow into stability. The second move is where most people underestimate themselves. They assume their job defines their entire earning potential. At 20,000, that stops being true. Your skill becomes an asset, and your cash flow becomes leverage. A. Turn your skill into a simple product. People at this level don't need a full business. They need clarity. A useful offer is 3 lines. The problem you solve, who you solve it for, the predictable outcome. This alone can produce a small but meaningful income stream of $200 to $400 monthly. B. Use small cash flow to create emotional stability. Most people don't realize how powerful an extra $200 to $500 is. It's not about the money, it's the freedom it represents. You can reject toxic tasks. You negotiate from strength. You buy tools that save time. You make decisions slower. You recover faster from mistakes. Stability comes from reduced dependence, not higher income. C. Apply the 30% future rule. At this stage, at least 30% of your monthly effort must go to things that pay you later, not today. Deeper learning. Portfolios with certifications, networking, long-term projects. This is how cash flow stops being random and becomes intentional. 3. Build a 5-year base. Live as if your future is inevitable. This is the move that transforms your 20,000 into something meaningful. You stop planning a better life, you start building it. A. Year 1, foundation. You lock your systems, clean your finances, stabilize your routines, and remove chaos. B. Year 2, consolidation. Your income rises because your skill sharpens and your decisions mature. C. Year 3, parallel income. Your side cash flow becomes a consistent engine, not an experiment. D. Year 4, autonomy. You gain the power to walk away from jobs, environments, or situations that limit you. E. Year 5, expansion. Your identity, income, and standards align with a life built deliberately. The money isn't the transformation, the architecture is. $20,000 is not a finish line, it's a mirror. It reflects your structure, your habits, your emotional stability, and the way you respond to pressure and opportunity. Most people stay stuck at this stage because they treat 20,000 as protection, when in reality it exposes everything that must be strengthened, upgraded, or rebuilt. But if you divide your life with intention, turn your skill into predictable stability, and build a 5-year foundation with discipline and clarity, 20,000 becomes a turning point, not a plateau. Because true wealth isn't hitting a number. It's building the identity, structure, and standards that make every number after inevitable.